Yeah. So I think that the tiling, that particular tiling should work. I think. Let's see. So let's write the problem once again clearly. A rectangular board floor is tiled with some 2 by 2 and
2 cross
right tiles. Yeah.
1 cross.
Correct? Yeah. So one tile is smashed, right? Show tiling is not possible by using one extra tile of the other kind.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So as I said, the coloring that we were doing, trying to just distinguish between the two kinds of tiles. Because there is another standard coloring, but that doesn't distinguish, so we don't use that. Right. So whenever you are coloring or numbering, you are trying to use this local information of which tile is used on which cell and kind of combining it or relating it with a global information. Okay. Which is maybe in total how many colors are there of a certain kind, and that can help us to find obstructions.
Yes.
Right. So like this, and as we just write it again, sorry, we're just writing everything again, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Okay. Okay. Now let us say that we have A 2 by 2 tiles. Okay. And we have B 1 cross 4 tiles. Okay. Initially. Right. And let us say that B splits like this. So why I'm writing like this, you will see. Right. Why I'm writing like this, you can see.
Yes.
Correct?
It covers 2 colors of.
Exactly. So it's a very suggestive notation. Now if you see what is the number of ones, that will be A plus 2 times this. Is this correct? Right?
I don't get this.
So this #1 is the number of ones in the board. Right? So that I'm saying is equal to A.
Yes.
Is this. Do you agree with this? Because
But why here? Because in B12 and B13 it covers all the ones.
yes, B12 is that 1 by 4 tiles which covers a 1. Right? So it covers 2 ones.
Yes.
The contribution is 2. Similarly, 1 3 will also contribute 2. Okay? 2
No.
ones.
Yes, I got this idea, but why you have written A plus A
Yes,
here?
yeah.
A
So A is
plus.
also there, right? Because every tile, every 2 by 2 tile is covering one. So
Yes, yes.
A of them
Now
is
I got it.
right. So this is
Yes,
what
yes.
I was saying about casework. Okay. I mean, after doing the casework, you will see it is very easy. But let's do the casework because I was not able to see it directly. After doing the casework, I was able to see. So you can write,
2, 4, and 3.
yeah. So for two, yes, 2, 4, and 2, 3, or no, 1, 2, right? And
Yes,
like,
yes. One,
yeah. So you keep writing it and just write it,
one,
okay? Yeah. But then you notice something which is, I mean, you can just see that it is obvious. It was obvious, basically some invariance that the number of ones is equal to A modulo 2. Okay.
yes, yes.
And that's all the observation you need to make, I think. That's all, right? Because if a tile breaks, then A will become A plus 1 or A minus 1, right? After breaking, after breaking, this A will become A plus 1 or A minus 1, depending on whether the, yeah. And, but that again, but the hash one is a global invariant that doesn't change. That is not changing because it's not, because the board is not changing. And that's a contradiction, right? Cannot happen. Okay.
Yes,
That's, and it is barely surprising, right? Because the number of ones is equal to the number of 2 by 2 tiles, modulo 2. So that, so it means that if the number of 2 by 2 tiles changes by 1, then it will not work, right? So if an even number of
right.
tiles, yeah. So if an odd number of tiles of one kind breaks, then also it is not possible. Yeah. So if you have particular kind, fix a kind, and now if odd number of tiles of that kind break or get smashed, and you replace them by odd number of tiles of the other kind, it is again same problem. Yeah, you cannot do it.
Yes.
It's a very, it's actually now you
Sir,
see it's very, yes,
my reason was very simple. If it's not that very formal that we have
your,
written. Uh, sir, my reason was if we're trying to tile up this rectangular shape,
mm-hmm.
uh, if we first put a square of dimension 2 cross 2,
Right,
it will cover 1, 2, 3, 4. It will cover 1, 2, 3, 4.
yes,
And by 1 cross 4 tile, either it will cover 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 4, or 3, 4, 3, 4.
okay. Then what
So
happens?
if any of the tile breaks,
Uh-huh.
so it would be impossible for the other one to cover all the exposure
To
colors,
cover,
all the
yeah,
exposed colors.
why? But that you have just restated the question.
I just I just made this statement by the observation.
But what is the, but that is what you have to prove, right? Is it obvious?
Mhm.
I mean, because there is a
No, it's not
rearranging.
obvious.
No, but that's not. But that reasoning is doesn't say anything, right? I don't think. Does it say like is it a reasoning? Because it means
No, it's not reasoning.
there is a
I was just
logical
telling
gap.
my observation.
No, but that is not. Yeah, that's
Yes.
fine. But you see, that's not. But like that is like yeah, you understand, right? Because you have to also rearrange. There is also a possibility of rearranging, and still it is not possible. You have to prove, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, so that is what the why. That is yeah. And if it is an observation, then what is it based on? That you have to think, right? That is what it is all about.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the problem. It's not difficult to see. Just you have to do the tiling and maybe so this kind of tiling and this kind of convenient setting up equations. Choosing the variables properly, right? How to choose the variables. That's always an art in mathematics. Okay, that
Yes.
which yeah right. Which subset of quantities you choose a variable for, how do you index. It's mathematics is because mathematics is like mostly is like everything is already there, right? You have to just ask the correct question, right? Draw the correct diagram, sort of in the sense to just to capture the correct collection of objects, and that's what these
We need
variables.
to we
Yeah.
need to just extract the correct equation.
Yes, yeah, that will come by practice. So when you practice, then the confidence will build, right? And that confidence will be like correct confidence. So like every time you make a correct observation or prove something correctly, then that builds a confidence, right? And then when you have the confidence, then you will take the correct step first. Okay, so always be very
Right.
careful.
Right.
Yeah, be neutral. So when you're solving a problem, be neutral. Okay, be open to making mistakes. If you're making a mistake and if you realize it, just see it. Okay, but be
That is
very
actually
very
learning, sir.
uh-huh. Yeah, all I'm saying is that
But
be
do
very
you
yeah, all I'm saying is that be very very clear in the head. Okay, be very very clear in the head, and for that you should try to remove you know all other distractions and so on, not in a forceful way, but through an understanding of how removing the other things, if removing something is benefiting you, just remove it. Okay, it's like that. Okay, and then tell you build on the knowledge of the observe the small things that are creating problems. Okay, and remove them. And yeah, yes, go on.
sir, can you provide some handout for the PHP pigeonhole
uh
principle?
I mean, yeah, you can just do from Arthur Angel, right? That's fine. Yeah, Arthur Angel's book. Hello.
What's one?
So there is a book by author Arthur Angel,
Hello?
right? Yes, am I audible?
Yes, it's problem solving stuff.
Yes, problem
Yes,
solving
yes. You are
strategy.
audible,
So
sir.
that has a chapter on box principle. So just solve that. That is fine, right?
Mm.
Is there a problem?
No.
Yeah. So just solve it patiently. Okay. Solve it patiently. Uh, Not too slow, but not too fast. Okay. The solutions are given at the back. Use them judiciously. Okay. If you can see a line of the solution and if you feel that you can complete it on your own, do it on your own. Okay, no need to read the full solution, as much as possible. Again, obviously you have to balance the time and everything, but yeah, keep that one resource and do it patiently. Okay, and as I said, if you do it patiently and if you do it with an understanding and talk to yourself, then you will not find it boring or overburdening, I suppose. Okay, right? And test of mathematics is there. You continue to solve it. Okay. Yeah. So today's class is
Okay. Just for the
basically
calculus,
for the calculus. Yeah, for the calculus. Yeah. So what are you looking for in
sir, I have a
calculus?
book. Sir, I
Yeah.
have a book of I.A. Maroon. So which chapter should I do? Can you just tell me?
Iron Maroon. Yeah, I have not much experience with that book. So I had bought that book, but I never really solved it properly. Okay. So I cannot tell about that book.
Because in that book, sir, there are also other things.
Yes, yes, there are also other things. So
Sir, in that
yeah,
book,
but does 1 minute? So
so
does
engine stuff. So
yeah. So does Iron Maroon have problems, or does it only have like calculations like so compute the integral and so on?
uh, some majorly problem, but theory in very concise way. Not that too much.
Yeah. So I don't like that book that much because I had actually bought it myself and I did not like it. So I think it's because it's more like it's more like an engineering book. Means it has a different purpose. It's very
Yes,
useful for for solving other differential equations and so on. But I don't think it's useful for this exam where you want to learn the mathematics. Like why uh,
yes.
yeah, this is a convex point and why such a C exists such that this happens. Yeah. I don't know about that book if that's going to be very useful. Try some other book. Okay, you can try yeah any other book you want. Do you have any other calculus book?
No, I am no. Any.
Yes, yeah. So about Maron, don't disregard the book, but just see if there are some useful chapters. Then you solve from there. You decide it yourself. Whatever is there in the syllabus, just whatever syllabus, see the corresponding name and solve it. But you will also need a different book at the same time. So yeah, so you can look at Spivak, right? Spivak calculus. You can look
Yes,
at that book. Yeah,
yes, sir. No.
yeah, Spivak calculus. Yeah, so you look at this book. This is a good book. Okay. And do you have access to your
Sir, which
library?
chapter should I?
Huh?
Sir, which chapter should I do of this book? Vivek?
Just you can do from the beginning. Very relevant book. Okay. You can do from the beginning.
Yes, relevant, but it's quite advanced and for this exam.
Is it? I don't know. No, I don't know actually. I don't think it is advanced. You have to just read it, right? You have to just read it. Yeah. Or why don't you do one thing? Why don't you do one thing? I mean, you why don't you just solve the problems from test of mathematics? Okay. Solve the problems from test of mathematics. Okay.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, for calculus, the calculus
Also a
portion.
separated topic.
Yeah, and then you ask me, and then accordingly I can tell you the theory, whichever is needed and which book. But Spivak calculus, I like the book. You can look at it. You should, if you can, read it from the beginning. And maybe if you one more reference come to my mind, so there is a book by Kagzor, right? Kagzor and I think Novak. Okay? So some problems in mathematical analysis. So there is volume one, which is on sequences. Okay. So maybe I can just quickly share the screen and tell you. Right. Yeah. So that's all. And if possible, you can borrow it from your college
So some
library.
teachers suggested me to solve Bart- Bartley and Sherbert.
Yeah, that is
Is
also a
it?
good book. Yeah, but that is a bit more advanced than Spivak calculus. Yeah, if you find Spivak calculus advanced, then that's going to be more advanced. I think. So you can look at this book also, Kagler and Novak Problems in Mathematical Analysis, Volume One. There's a sequence and series. So what you can do is you can look at this book
Yes.
and you can start solving it. Start solving this chapter one. Yeah. And basically from every section, if you can do the first 15 problems also, don't have to do all the problems from every section because the problems are quite advanced in the end. But towards the beginning, they are reasonable. So you can solve chapter one, two, right? And then similarly, they have volume two. Then also you can solve from there. Okay. So that is that. And about Spivak, yeah. So I said that about Kagzor and Novak. And about Spivak, you can look at this book, Spivak Calculus. This will also be there in the library. It's there in every library that has math books. So yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, just solve from chapter part 1. Read from part 1. You see, it has everything. I will suggest you can just read this. Okay, read this and at least part 4. Yeah, actually all of it you can read. Yeah. So this is another option for you. But I think these two options are there. And another book is there more, but yeah, but don't follow too many books, otherwise it's also a confusion. There is a book called More Calculus on One Variable. So this also you can look at. More Calculus on One Variable. You can note it down. And here you can see the contents. Yeah, this is a more comprehensive, like real numbers. You can see, should read this completely. Famous inequalities, you should read it completely. Continuous functions, differentiable functions. Yeah, at least till chapter 5 you should do completely. Chapter 6 you might skip. Chapter 7 you might skip. Chapter 8 you should do. And it's up to you. 9 you should do. 10 you should do. After that you can skip. So yeah, this is another book. More of a modern book, so they write in better style.
So there's another book of understanding analysis by Stephen Abbott.
Yeah, that's also a good book. Yeah, that's also a good book. Yeah, that's also a good book. Understanding, and let's see if I have it. No, I don't think.
Analysis.
Abbott's book is good. Yeah, it's a good book. Yeah, I don't have it, but it's a nice book. And Bartle and Sherbert is also nice. But if you want to read those books, then better to read Spivak. Yes, Spivak is easier at your level. Okay. Okay, then I will stop. All right. We'll meet on Sunday. Maybe we'll try to be on time. Okay? I was also late, and then you were also late on top of that. I mean, both of us were late.
Actually, sir,
Sorry?
actually, sir, I was having eye flu, so that I was taking medicine.
You were having?
I got flu. Sir, eye flu. So I was taking medicine.
Oh, eye flu, right? Yeah, I think many people are getting this eye problem. One of my other friends also got. Yeah. Is it better now?
No, it's better than before.
Take care. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know. I mean, many people are getting it. So, yeah. Am I also getting? No, no. So, yeah, be careful. And yes, don't solve from too many different sources. Okay, that I will tell you. Don't solve from too many different sources. So I'll tell you. I'll tell you what to do for Sunday. So Sunday you come before Sunday. So today is Thursday. Okay. So forget today. You sleep, rest. Okay. Tomorrow you look at test of mathematics. Okay. Choose. Start there is a portion in which there are calculus problems, right?
Yes.
Solve 10 problems. Try 10 problems. Okay. Try 10 problems in the morning. Okay. It will take 1 or 2 hours. Not more than 2 hours. Try 10 problems in the morning. And then try them again. If it's left, try again in the evening. Okay. In the daytime, you pick up the Spivak book. Okay. You can download it and read it. If it's okay, you can read from the laptop at this point. Can you read?
Yes.
Because you're having eye problem, that's why I'm asking. Yeah. Okay.
So now it's fine.
It's fine. All right. Then you read part 1. Part 1 is very small, just 20 this thing. Okay. 20 pages. Read part 1 during the day. Okay. Do you have college? No, you're not going to college now, right? You have eye problem. All right. So you read part 1 during the day. So this is what you do tomorrow. Okay. And these two things, and after that you can solve other things which you want, period on principle, this, that, but these two things you do. Okay. Then this is Friday. Saturday, you again do 10 problems from test of mathematics in the morning, try them again in the evening. Means when you're trying in the evening, you can search online for solution, a little bit here and there. You just, some idea may come, this, that. You do. But in the morning, you solve it without any kind of any kind of distraction. So for that, you have to make up your mind from before. You have to develop the mind from before that I'll be going to do this. And then on Saturday, you try to read part 2. You will not be able to complete it, all 10 problems, and try to read part 2. At least read till continuous functions. Lot of things will be repetitive in between, so don't be stuck in everything. Okay, find your way and read it. At least read till continuous functions Saturday. And 10 problems. So 20 problems you have done there, and you have read some portion from here. Then Sunday, whatever you have is still remaining from the problems, we can explain, and from here we can explain. So this progress will be right. And then you will have some remaining time. In that, you do anything you want. You can just do whatever you want. Okay? Obviously, you should take rest and all, but also other kinds of maths you want, you can do. But this should be pakka. Okay. So maybe 3 hours a day in this, and 2 hours of 2 and 2 and around more, not more than 3 hours of problem. 6 hours. 6 hours is enough. After that, you can do whatever you want. Okay. That's then we'll meet on Sunday. Okay.
So just one more thing.
Yeah.
Sir, I have book like Tomato and CTPCM, the challenge and skill of pre-college
Right.
mathematics.
Yeah.
And for the number theory, I bought David M. Burton and read first 2 chapters of it.
Okay.
And so for the calculus, so you have told me to do Spivak and
Right. Then
so sir, this this material is sufficient, or
see, it is, yes. If you do them honestly, if you work out the details carefully, if you solve the test of problems honestly, rigorously, without too many, so then it is sufficient. What most people do is they never solve anything honestly. They will do one problem with themselves, another problem, what they'll do, they'll try for 5 minutes, then 5 minutes they will Google, okay, then 5 minutes here and there. And no, not like that. If you solve it honestly, plan and then solve, plan and aim and then shoot, aim and then shoot, this is more than okay. You have the 2 tests of mathematics, you have challenges and thrills, you have this, and that is enough. That's more than enough. But you have to do it properly. Means that there is the portion of time when you are reading, you are not distracting yourself with other support and so on. Okay. And when you are doing finding solutions on the internet, that you do in a separate time. So that if you separate, then it will work. It should work. Okay. Yeah. I'm tracking. I mean, I'll tell you, I'll give you feedback. Okay. Yeah. All right. And yeah. And also learn to use the phrases very precisely. You're thinking, but when you're speaking, you speak precisely. Because then you can teach yourself. Okay. If you use precise, you make precise use of the mathematical terminology, not to show off, but not to, sometimes I do that, but not like that. But just to get the idea across, because words are, they hold the key to a lot of understanding. If you use the words carefully, if you use the commas and everything carefully, correctly, then your understanding will be accurate. Okay.
yes.
Okay. That's all right. Then we'll meet on Sunday 8:30 morning. Okay. 8:30 or 8?
8.
8. Okay. 8 morning. Okay.